This is an AI-assisted video. The script, the narration, and the visuals were all generated by AI. It explains how the D67 Toastmasters MOT tool is actually built and shipped. There are 3 environments: production, staging, and a status site, and one simple way the project manager steers them all. That steering wheel is the to-do item. By the end, you'll see exactly how it works. Let's start with the map. There are 3 separate web addresses, and each one has a very different job. Production is the real, live site that officers actually use. Staging is a private copy for testing before anything goes live. And the status site is a separate dashboard that reports on the project itself. Keep those 3 roles clear, and everything else makes sense. First, production at mot.toastmasters.org.tw. This is the real site. It's a .NET application running on Azure App Service, and it's where club officers fill in the actual moments of truth assessment. Because real people rely on it, there's one iron rule: you never experiment here. Production only gets a change after it's been proven somewhere else first. Second, staging at D67 MOT, staging.azurewebsites.net. It runs the very same application as production. The difference is that it's safe to break. Every single change lands here first, so it can be checked on a real deployment, not just on someone's laptop. The rule is simple: prove it on staging, take a screenshot as evidence, and only then promote the exact same build to production. Third, the status site on Azure Static Web Apps at that Happy Beach address. This one is not the MOT product at all. It's a separate dashboard that reports on the project, the status of each to-do, the QA screenshots, the version history. Think of it as a window into how the work is going. The QA screenshots you'll see in a moment are hosted right here. So how does a change actually travel across these 3? Through one repeatable pipeline. It starts as a to-do. Then, before any code is touched, verify the facts, rephrase the request into a precise spec, and advise on the safest scope. Then it's implemented, QA'd, and automatically deployed to staging. Staging is always automatic. Production is different. It only happens on an explicit go from the PM, and every delivery is stamped with a version like v. 2026-07-23, and the to-do docs are synced. Here's the heart of it. How does the PM adjust what actually gets built? The PM writes a numbered to-do file, a plain language request. It gets verified against the real code, then rephrased into a precise, testable specification with clear acceptance criteria. If the result isn't quite right, the PM doesn't dive into the code. They just write a new to-do that adjusts it. The document is the single source of truth. Let's make that concrete with 2 real examples from this project. Example 1. To-do 001. The request was 3 words: remove login and register. But verification found the risk. There were 2 apps, and one had a global rule saying every page requires a login. Blindly ripping out login would have locked the admin area forever, or worse, exposed officers' emails to the public. So the advice reshaped the scope. Just remove the login and register links from the menu, but keep the authentication itself. The final change touched only 2 files, and the PM approved that narrower version. That's the loop in action. The PM adjusted the desired result the moment Verify surfaced a risk they couldn't have seen from the outside. Example 2. To-do 052, and this one shows a sharper kind of steering. A mobile fix had twice been reported as done, each time proven by reading the CSS rules. But the PM opened it on a real phone, and the 6 scores were still missing. So the PM adjusted the result by changing the acceptance rule itself. No more reading the code as proof. Deploy to staging. Load it in a real headless browser at phone width, and hand me a screenshot with the scores clearly visible. That forced a real render, which exposed the true cause: a CSS cascade-order bug. A desktop hide rule sat after the mobile rule and quietly overrode it. Same weight selectors, later one wins. The fix bumped the specificity, and the 3rd pass finally held. The lesson: the strongest way a PM steers a result is by tightening how done is proven. So that's the whole loop. 3 environments: production for real users, staging to prove every change, and a status site to watch the project. And one steering wheel. The PM writes a to-do, it becomes a testable spec, it ships to staging automatically, and it reaches production only on an explicit go. Want a different result? You don't touch the code, you write the next to-do. Thanks for watching.